Welcome to NEXTGames video on how to solo the August 2019 Intense Ambuscade on Very Easy. This month's Intense Ambuscade requires you to not use any Geomancy, Bard, or Rune spells on the boss, so we won't be using Ulmia this month. Let's talk about the abilities and spells you will see during this fight. Bozetto Nocturna is this month's main boss in Ambuscade. The TP moves that you'll see him use are Frog Cheer, which will give him a defense boost and potent regain, Frog Song, which will inflict AoE damage and gravity, Water Bomb, which will inflict AoE water damage and also hit you with attack and magic attack down, Magic Hammer, which is a single target light damage ability that will go through your shadows but not wipe them, and also inflict you with magic defense down. The next move is one of the more concerning ones in this fight. It's called Providence. This will cause him to recover 10 to 20,000 hit points, and he will summon 5 Bozetto Croakers to his aid. Now, there is no specific percentage that he'll use this. Sometimes I've seen him go the entire fight without using it. Other fights I've seen him use it as early as 80%. So you just have to hope that he doesn't use this, and if he does, he uses it as far into the fight as possible. What I will say is all of the frogs do have decent hit points, so I would recommend just continuing killing Bozetto Nocturna while you try and keep as good of hate as you can on those frogs, and then once he is dead, you do have to defeat all 5 frogs before the battlefield will be completed and considered successful. I will say you can sleepka those additional frog adds, but because of the next ability, Archangel TT and any other sleeper you have more than likely isn't going to have any MP, which means they won't be able to sleep those frogs when eventually they do pop. The next move we're going to talk about is Quenching Hammer. It is an AoE damage move that has a distance of up to 30 feet. It is a full D spell and a spear, so this means everyone's going to lose all of their buffs and all of your mages are going to lose all of their magic points. So it pretty much puts you in a very vulnerable position. Because of this, you may find it smart to sub the Dancer sub-job during this fight so you can keep yourself alive while your mages don't have any magic points. I haven't needed to do this, fortunately, in any of my fights, but if you're having difficulty, I would recommend trying this. The other thing I'll point out is if Bozetto Nocturna has any runes, geomancer spells, or bard songs on him at the time of using Quenching Hammer, it will hit for significantly more damage and normally one-shot all of your trust, and if you're not lucky, yourself as well. So that's why you absolutely cannot use any Geomancers in this fight or Ulmia that you would normally see in my fights for Bard. The spells Bozetto Nocturna has access to are Fire 3 and Fire 4, as well as Water 3 and Water 4. Now these normally would not be much of a risk to you, but he does chain spell at times throughout the fight, and if these do hit you, they will hit you for close to 1,000 damage. So you want to make sure that you keep those shadows up, especially during chain spell. The last thing I want to talk about is the hate control for the 5 Bozetto Croakers once they are summoned. They do not share hate with the Bozetto Nocturna, and therefore will quite frequently tear off towards your mages to try and hurt them. So remember all of your AoE hate control abilities to try and pull them back. This includes casting shadows as frequently as possible, having Gekka up at all times to increase your enmity, as well as Yonin to increase your enmity. The last thing you can try if needed is to try a War Cry, and that will usually increase your enmity substantially to try and pull them off once or twice. Let's go ahead and see how one of these fights go. For our trust, we're going to be using Seth to continually restore HP, MP, and TP to the party, Korumoru for haste, Yoran Oran for cures, and then our 2 new additions for this particular fight are going to be Archangel MR and Archangel GK, basically for damage. The main reason I've swapped them is because, of course, as I've already discussed, we can't use Ulmia, and the usual Shantoto 2 is going to lose all of his MP right away and therefore be useless. So you can use any 2 DD you wish, but I recommend you using 2 DD in place of your usual Bard and BLM positions. And that's the run for the month. Sadly, the difficulty step up to easy is very dramatic like most months. It's pretty much the same fight, but he uses the next higher tier spells as well as impact, and if he uses Providence, your fight is all but over. So I recommend sticking to very easy like most months for Intense Ambuscade. Have a good month all.